Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Tennis Manager. We're on episode number 28. I'm surprised how quickly we're accumulating episodes now. After certainly we had a good start with this series, and we were getting 3-4 episodes a week, and then of course lately moving blah blah blah. Well, anyway, it's still nice to see we're already at 28. Feels like it's been less, but it is 2024 in game already. So it's been a while, right? We were so focused on the finances and trying to just break even and survive and get through and then start making some money so that we can improve the infrastructure, blah blah blah, right? That whole money making scheme that we had. And since it started paying off, since we started seeing green, I haven't looked at it much for a while. So I wanted to take a little time and see where we're at, see how it's doing. We know it's doing better. We know that it's not the big concern, and we know that we're pushing in the right direction. But there's more to it than just okay, it's better. Well, how so? How are we actually doing with that? Now, right now, it's a little harder to tell because our finances work on a yearly basis. It's not an automatic thing, and our calendar year it kind of runs from November to the end of November. So that's the 12 months that you're working in. So it's kind of from right after the end of the season. Your off season is then kind of calculated into the upcoming season. Well, anyway, income wise, at this point, a quarter of the way into the season, we're looking at substantially more money inbound than what we had previously. A year ago, 575K. This year, approaching a million. We're definitely not double, but we are significantly higher in terms of the funds. And, looking at the last 30 days, 44K a year ago, 76K this past year. Now, we haven't had anything massive. There hasn't been some major tournament that brought in a ton of money. There hasn't been some huge influx deal of any type. But what we have is more regular income coming from our athletes that we're getting a bigger share from. So we're getting a better payout in the tournament with the groups that we have, or with the athletes that we have. But the biggest thing is the academy businesses. So far, we've brought in 111,000 from the academy businesses so far this season. The board brought in that 300,000. That's a bigger jump than what we were getting previous seasons, where I think it was about 200K. So there's plus 100,000 of that. Almost 400,000 we brought in. That's a good chunk of it. That's a quarter of it. The academy businesses have brought in roughly 100,000 more than it did a year ago or in the past seasons. So there's half of that money that's been coming in. The equipment supplier stuff, the tournaments, those payouts are a bit more. The signing bonus, especially, we're getting a bigger chunk. And was getting these things, but we were getting a small chunk of it. Her deals might have been bigger than what we're getting with Kasanseva, but with Kasanseva, we're getting a bigger percentage, and ultimately it's amounting to more cash. So finances are definitely looking good. Now, mid-February, we're still in the red for this month, but I don't expect that to remain a problem much longer. We should be bringing in some money, and doing less tournaments, we're just going to ultimately bring in a little less cash this year than we could to kind of get the athletes in a place where we can already see tournaments are a good chunk. Tournaments right now, even with the limited participation we've had thus far this season, is right there level with the academy businesses. That's also a month away from leveling up, so that's going to see an increase, but we're still getting decent money coming in. And so we opened this one up with a WTL International 80 level. So that's kind of our happy zone for Kasanseva right now. She's high enough to be the 1 seed for this tournament. She's good enough to win it, but really doesn't compete very well at the next level. So we need to keep her, I'll try to keep her morale up. Obviously, that's a constant issue with her. really awaiting another level up in that department because it's been nearly a year since she matured a little bit. And, she's over 18 now. She should be maturing a little faster at this point. Straight through to the quarterfinal. This is our first challenge that we've even faced. The first set was easy, 6-1. Second set did go to a tiebreaker, though she then comfortably wins the tiebreak itself to go through. 45 winners, but still that common issue of the unforced errors. It is less than we've seen in the past, so maybe that's the development we're starting to see. I've started to focus on picking up a couple of those skills for her through training, and we'll see if that's actually playing out to something. But obviously, going forward, that's the main thing we're going to need to address for her to be more competitive against better players. Semifinals see 4 seeded athletes here, so that's going to give us a little bit of a challenge, but I still like our odds here against the 3 seed, who is quite a bit lower than us in the rankings. But it's always a mixed bag. At 32, though, and she's only 205th, there's probably not a whole lot of quality there, but there's definitely some green in her stats over the last year. 6-2, 6-2 in the semifinals, so that'll see us into the final. Only 12 unforced errors. Happy to see that. 11 aces. Wow, I haven't seen that in a while. 2 seed gets knocked out, so it's actually the 8 seed that we're going to go up against in the final. I would think this should be an easier one for us, but we'll see if that's actually the case. Just inside the top 200. They have gone head-to-head before, and it was a win for Kostenseva. And this one almost didn't go our way, losing the first set 5-7, but then going 6-1, 6-2, straight sets in the last 2 anyway, to pull this one off. 46 winners versus 26. The unforced errors were back today. That was the struggle, 29 of those. Opponent also had 21, so neither one of them playing very clean. Both of them seemingly capable of scoring some points, though. Kostenseva just more capable. Ita was in a rookie 10 tournament, which she made the final but lost. Kostenseva, meanwhile, picking up the win, 3,500. That's now just about break even for the month. Our monthly payment from the equipment supplier comes in, it looks like, on the final day of the month, because we had a month here where we were pretty much right at break even, and then all of a sudden we get an influx of 34,000 on the final day of the month, and then the month ends up looking good. 84,000 that we brought in versus 46,000, so we gained 40,000 despite not doing any major tournaments this month at all. In fact, our tournament payout was only 13,000 for the entirety of the month. That's incredibly low for where it could or should be in any other month. But of course, some of that was training. The rest of that was minor tournaments. So that is continuing to help us along. But we're also pushing into that new month, and any time now, we should see our next upgrade complete, which is exciting. And of course, heavy training is always going to have its benefit. Kostenseva, reflexes, +1, now a 12. Drop shot, huge gain there, 31% from our previous level up. And then speed, making decent gains, pushing towards that next level. Ita was in a tournament last week, didn't fare too well, but Gallus was training last week, and we see a big jump there. Speed, which was what I had focused on, sees a climb from crazy slow to, she's okay on her speed now. Volley and reflexes also seeing small gains. Well, it isn't a major tournament, but it's a big tournament, the Indian Wells Open. Premier 1,000 level, so everything kind of just short of the Grand Slams. Unseeded, but at 60th in rankings, you'd figure we could fare decently well. Zwing, who we're up against for this one, Jinwen Zwing, 138th. She came through the qualifiers. That's actually where Ita was a week ago, was going in those qualifiers, trying to earn a bid to this tournament. If we get through this first round, though, we've got the 9 seed, 10th ranked player in the world in Kota. That is probably going to be a bit of a challenge, bit of a stretch for us, but let's see if we can at least get through one. Never gone head-to-head. Plenty of green on their stat sheet, 21-year-old player. We'll see how we fare. Maybe I'll check my tactical gameplay. I don't change these very often because I try to play to our strengths, because we're not balanced, because we're not strong. So when you play to the opponent's strengths, you're not going to necessarily fare well if you're not capable of playing to those strengths. As you get better as a player, as you become more well-rounded, that's when you take tactical variances. Any good coach knows that. But anyway. Okay, they want balanced. Sure. Fine. Simulate. How we doing? Blah, 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 blah. 6-4. 4-6, 4-6. We do go down in this opener, sadly. 12 aces, but 4 double faults. 51 winners. Swing with 40. Unforced errors. Deadly as always, 29. They had 21, so I'm kind of surprised we lost this thing. Kind of surprised. Gallus doing well in her 50 tournament, making it to the final. How does she fare in the final itself? She's a winner. That's the end of the clay season. Or no, that's what's upcoming. We'll have to do our scheduling here in a moment. Yeah, title for that rookie 50. Payout was small. We get knocked out in the first round, Kostanseva, of that Indian Wells, and she gets paid out much better. Tournament size does matter in the finances. 185th rank is good enough to win a 115 tournament. I'm going to give it a shot. The payout's only slightly, marginally better than where we're at, but we're going to give that a shot. Another 80 level tournament for Kostanseva, and again a 1 seed. She won the last one. Will she make it 2 from 2 today? First challenge of any kind comes in the semifinal with 4 seed, but both the 2 and 7 seeds in the other semifinal, nobody looks particularly tough. I'm pushing up to higher levels for those future tournaments, but right now I think currently these 80 level ones are maybe a little too easy. Maybe not that easy after all. We go straight into the final and lose. Kostanseva 6-3, 1-6, 4-6 to the 7 seed, who is ranked significantly lower. So, ouch. Foot in mouth right now. 46 winners to 36, 25 unforced errors. As always, her downfall is herself. Coming off that finals loss, it's the very next day, and now we're in Miami for another tournament. A 1,000 level premier tournament, so it's a big one. Better payout regardless of what happens. Let's hope we can at least get through this first round. Second round, maybe Ritsky, 25 seed, 27th rank, which means there's a lot of big time players here if the 27th ranked player is all the way up with a 25 seed in this one. So, and not significantly higher in terms of seeding. It means there's a lot of good players around. So wish us luck. Let's see if we can at least get through one this time. It'd be nice. We haven't played poorly in today's episode, but I'd say Kostanseva is capable of a bit more, especially after losing that final in that last tournament where we should have been heavily favored. Whew. It's a squeaker. 1-6, 6-2, 7-6. All the way down to tiebreakers for the winner. 65 total winners, so she was absolutely crushing it, but she just kept giving it away. 36 unforced errors today, 52% of points won, and it was her game. Either she hit it in bounds until she would eventually beat Schmidlova, or she'd hit it out of bounds and give the point away to Schmidlova. Schmidlova was just kind of at her mercy throughout the game, and Kostanseva was at her own mercy throughout the game. Ritsky, an aging player, 33 years of age now, but ranked 27th, so she's pretty solid. There's a lot of green there. She does not double fault much at all, but she doesn't hit very many aces. Good first serve percentage. Wow, that is a really high first serve percentage, though. She gets it in play. She just doesn't necessarily win from those, but yikes, this is not going to be easy. I'll tell you that right now. 3-6, 2-6, competitive, but cannot win. Only 39%, ultimately. Only 21 winners. Yeah, Ritsky, you could see that in play is solid. She gets the ball. She doesn't get beaten easily. Only 10 unforced errors from Kostanseva. So conservative, steady, good, solid play But yeah, wow, okay. Well, she goes down to the higher seeded player. That makes sense. And overall, not a bad performance. I mean, she gets 13,000 out of it, so we're already well into a nice profitable month here for March. And if we take a quick look at our infrastructure, 3 days. Okay, all right. Well, let's go 3 days. Let's go forward 3 days. There it is. Upgrade of Business Center is complete. Now level 5. We're halfway through. And that is now bringing us from, what was it, 37,000 a month to now 77,000 per month. Of course, the expenses go up ever so slightly, so it's not a straight 40,000 plus, but it's probably 35,000 a month more than what we were bringing in before. We're also 1 month away from that first Youth and Scouting Center upgrade coming along. We're at 1.4 million, and it's 810K for the next one, so you know what that means. Yes, we are going to push this to double. 157,000 per month income. This is going to set us up for some really rapid upgrades. The medical center, youth and scouting center, we're going to be able to push those to level 3 very, very quickly with that kind of income. And then that sports center, we'll be able to push that to a level 4 or 5 very quickly. But then ultimately, that's going to finance the business center upgrades that we need to keep pushing that one along. 9 months, though, that's going to take some time. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.